Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. It's 2:50 a.m. Thanksgiving Day. Let's scan the globe. Let's see what kind of seismic activity we got. Here's a 2.8 on the 24th in western Texas, as far as where I'm at in Oklahoma. We're getting some aftershocks. The frequency is lessening. They seem to be stretching out. They still seem to be in the twos mainly. I'll get back to that in a little bit. And you've got the 2.2 on the 23rd in Utah. A whole bunch of 2 activity here. You had a 3.1 on the 23rd in western Montana. And you also, of course, remember the 3.0 in Wyoming. Now you had one out here in New Mexico too. There it is. A 3.4 a couple days ago. And then a 2 on the 23rd in Virginia. And while I'm at Virginia, I remember I didn't do something after I made it, but I think I may have said that we, Oklahoma, were at the top of the hill on the magnitude chart, and I have misspoken. We were 2/10 off. Virginia still has us beat, so they are still the king. We're on a close second. Let's go over here to the west coast, and they're getting what they usually get. Bunch of 2s, 3.0 on the 21st a few days ago in Mexico. We'll pop down here because I know there's been some stuff going on here in the last few days. Over here in Chile, well, different points everywhere. But you've got 5 on the 22nd on the Chile rise here in the west, and another one on the 23rd. You got a little bit of stuff going there. 4.7, 24th, Argentina. You know, 5.4, 23rd in Chile. And, a few days ago, 6.6, Bolivia. 4.9, 22nd, Central Peru. Southern Peru, 4.8, 22nd. So remember, Peru had a couple of little ones bigger than little, but during a short time. 3.5 on the 23rd in the Puerto Rican region. 3.2 in the 22nd Virgin Islands region. So down here, Chile, their neighbors, they picked up a little bit. We wind around here, and you had a 4.2 in the Canadian region and a 4.0 on the 23rd. Up here in Alaska, they're getting throbbed with a bunch of 2s, occasional 3. Stretching around, there's not much going there. Little 2 action. You come over here to the Japanese region, and you see that they have just got popped with the 6.1 on the 23rd. You come down here to Indonesia and Tonga, that area. Now New Zealand is okay for now. They did have a few days ago 5.1. That's actually a little north, east coast of the North Island. And up here you've got a 4.7 on the 24th in Tonga. 4.9, 23rd Tonga region. Australia is looking okay for now. 4.8, 23rd Indonesia. 5.0, 24th Indonesia. 5.2 a couple of days ago. We wind around here. As far as China goes, don't see anything at the moment course, they did have a 5.9 in Myanmar, but that's a few days ago. And then Turkey, well, they had that little swath, 22nd, 4.6, 4.4 on the 20th. But as far as today goes, not today. You have a 5.3 in Greece, 23rd. You have 3.4 in northern Algeria, 23rd. Other than that, down here they look pretty clean for now. There's the Hubble. Way up north doesn't look to be doing anything right at the moment. So early on, you heard me say something about Oklahoma and the earthquakes and whatnot, and I'd get back to it. Well, remember whenever we had the 5.6, I started talking about the fracking, and I put something up about the oil fracking, and we talked about it, and I might have mentioned about the Arkansas earthquakes. I think maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But the deal was they had some wells being fracked in the area where they were getting their strong earthquake, and the other ones after it, a lot of them. And they shut down some fracking wells and everything calmed down. So 2 and 2 equals 4, and we got a bunch of them here. I've done showed that in 2 different videos. I showed the maps. The map. And even back as far as March, you could find articles like this, and this is old. This is dated from March, and they even say it throughout the article. The earthquake declined after the fracking well closures. So anybody that says that they don't believe that there's something to man can contribute to causing an earthquake, well, they just admitted it. And all you have to do is read the article. And they did shut them down. So, let's see if I can catch some highlights. Well, here's a highlight. The 2 injection wells are used to dispose of the wastewater. One is owned by Chesapeake Energy, and the other by Clarita Operating. Well, there you go. There's 2 of the owners of at least those wells in Arkansas. So I know who owns what where I'm at. I'm not going to say those names on here in case there would be a legal issue that they might seek to try. But there's only certain ones that own certain wells, and you can find that information if you try. Either way, the gist is they can drill and they can cause things, and when they put their heads together, at least as far as Arkansas and the residents concerned, well, you got fracking well closures. Well, if they close the fracking wells, they know something is going on, and it will continue or get worse, and that's why they backed out. And that's a contributor to Oklahoma. I don't care what anybody says. That's the Wilzetta Fault area. They don't care where they drill. I mean, if they think they can get it safe, they'll go in. They get the lease and everything, proper permissions and stuff. You know, a lot of times it works. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes maybe, well, maybe or maybe not, they know if or what. There could be an issue later on. Who knows? But that's what fracking is. And it can cause problems. And so if they say there is no link, well, here's an article from 8 months ago, after the well closed. Decline, magnitude, and a lot of frequency. I've checked and they're still getting them, but they're a lot lower in the magnitude, and they're not getting as many per day. Yeah, and this was a nice one. This Friday, a rather large partial eclipse of the sun will be on view, but only for a relatively small audience. It'll be the 4th time that a new moon will orbit between the sun and Earth to cause a solar eclipse in 2011. Just one eclipse shy of the maximum for the number of solar eclipses in a given year. The first eclipse on January 4 coincided with sunrise across Europe. Some Alaskans and Canadians shared a view. And you can look at the photo. And perhaps just a few penguins experienced a very slight eclipse a month later off Lutzlow Home Bay on the coast of Antarctica. On Friday, the moon's penumbral, or outer, shadow will brush the southern belly of the Earth, initially touching down in the South Atlantic Ocean, about 600 miles southwest of Cape Town, but only managing to encompass the southern and western portion of South Africa, completely missing Lesotho and barely grazing the border of Namibia. The sun will be seen rising with a dent in its upper right arm. The axis of the Earth's shadow, containing the cone of darkness known as the umbra, from where we could see a total solar eclipse, misses Earth entirely, passing at its nearest only about 0.05 of the Earth's radius, or about 210 miles out in space. So far, the depth of this partial eclipse is greater than the 3 others that preceded it. At greatest eclipse, 90.5% of the sun's diameter will be covered, as seen from the place nearest to the shadow axis, as a point in the Bellingshausen Sea along the west side of the Antarctic Peninsula. Here, the sun will be seen to dip to the southern horizon of the midnight of its 24-hour southern late spring day. As it slowly ascends, still very low to the south-southeast horizon, it turns into a delicate boat-shaped crescent in eclipse. The horizon along which the dazzling boat goes, rocking, is that of the ice, a nickname for Antarctica being on the ice. As the penumbra slides under the bottom of the Earth, the partial eclipse is visible in varying extent across the icy land continent, and just as it begins to slide back out into space, it barely manages to pass over Tasmania, as well as portions of New Zealand's South Island. In fact, the last contact of the shadow with Earth occurs just to the west of the South Island in the Tasmanian Sea, or the Tasman Sea, excuse me. If you've already obtained a calendar for 2012, be sure to put a big red circle around May the 20th. Okay, circle the calendar, May the 20th, 2012. That is the date of the next solar eclipse, and it promises to be a spectacular event. It will be an annular eclipse, a ring eclipse, that will be visible from parts of 8 western U.S. states during the late afternoon hours. For those living in parts of New Mexico and West Texas, the setting sun will be transformed into a blazing ring of fire, in some cases lasting for more than 5 minutes. And across much of North America, the exception being those near and along the Atlantic coast, the sun will appear partially eclipsed. Across the Pacific, for parts of China and Japan, the annular eclipse will also be visible. Tokyo is directly in the eclipse track. Although for Asia, being positioned to the left of the international dateline, west, this event will take place on the morning of May 21st. Needless to say, in contrast to next Friday, next May's solar eclipse will have a huge viewing audience. So I thought that was a little interesting article that I would bring you. You're going to have a little something on Friday, according to this article. Next May, we're going to make this look like nothing. We'll see, won't we? We shall see. Okay, I was looking for videos about the black dot at Neumayer on the webcam that I show, and I've looked at other people's showed, and I was continuing to kind of stretch towards the camera, something with the camera, not a glare. I was going with the camera. But I kept sticking on one point. I couldn't ever reproduce the black dot, and I have a much less expensive camera than what all these other observatories and whatnot have access to installed on their property. So is theirs so technologically advanced that it's so advanced that that's why it leaves the black dot? Is a less advanced camera not able to leave the black dot? And maybe, maybe not. But that's why I won't totally blame it on the camera, even if the manufacturer writes me, as this person says in one of their videos that they debunk. That's why I don't say totally it's the camera, because there's other issues with it if you look long enough. But this one here, I just stumbled across and started watching and realized that, well, about everything she debunks. That's mainly it, just all debunking everything. It said 65 years old, whether that's made up or not, who knows. Has quite a bit of subscribers. And then there's a lengthy description. I research and get factual data to disprove claims, and you can read what she's disproving. All kinds of stuff. And then you can see some comments here and everything. And this one here, I've watched some of his videos and stuff, and he even left her a comment. Says, thanks for commenting on my debunking tarot videos in my channel. I'm only out to seek the truth, unlike him, and misled people. Okay, whatever. But then, why I bring this to you, if you don't know this person, some of you might probably already be subscribed to her and like her quite well. What caught me was this, I was looking for videos about black dots, see what other pictures look like, if anybody had anything different. And I saw that and watched that. That's part of the debunking. And then as I scrolled through, what other uploads does she have? It was all pretty well debunking prophecy, of Elenin, because the date was wrong, and it got disintegrated for some other reason. And then you keep going down and you find that she really, really likes attacking Ursu Adams' Donnie Gilson. And you find video after video after video about her always going after this guy. You know, some people like him, some people don't. When I see attacking going on, she calls it truthing or whatever. But apparently this one has got all the answers, because she appears to be the oracle. You know, once she has laid something down, you know, that's factual, and there's no getting out of it, and there's no anything about it. And, you know, you go through the video, you watch the videos and whatnot, and read the comments and everything, and, you know, some are removed, and then there's some little bit of name calling and stuff, so just makes you wonder. Just makes you wonder. So everyone have a good holiday. Enjoy it, whatever you're doing. If you got stuck working, well, that happens. I've had to do it. I'm sorry to hear it. Got some football going on. If you can, maybe relax for a few minutes. Take your mind off everything and just enjoy a little while. God bless everyone. I'll talk to you soon. Have a happy holiday.